Hey, this is Schweinbeck checking in. Check out Made Famous TV.
Made Famous TV.
Hey, what's up? It's Shamika, and you're now tuned into Made Famous TV. And right now, I am sitting down with Diana Schweinbeck.
Yes, you got it right.
Schweinbeck. Yeah, I was gonna ask
A lot
you
of people
about
don't
that.
say it right, so yeah.
Yeah, because they assume the H is silent.
Yep, exactly.
Gotcha. So,
Mm-hmm.
how's it been going for you?
Great. Like I said, I'm out here in Atlanta visiting right now, so it's great to be home, but staying busy, getting ready for the fourth quarter. But I've been good. What about yourself?
Pretty good, hanging in there. You know, this pandemic has slowed a lot of things down for me, but
Insane.
I'm trying to make
It's
it do
insane.
it. So,
Right.
yeah. So you're mainly into, because you throw events, but you're in the
Yes,
artist management. So
I
like,
am.
you got your hands dipped in a lot of stuff. So tell us about yourself.
Okay, so yeah, I throw events. I'm a manager, so I started in Atlanta in the industry about 10 years ago. I started managing, just connecting with the right people, started throwing in events at A3C, South by, and just monthly, I call them showcases, industry mixers that I do out here in Atlanta. And then I actually work at Sync Music as head of marketing over there. So that's why I live in LA. I moved out there last year. So I do marketing for all genres now, which is awesome because when I started, it was primarily hip hop and R&B, which I still work with. But yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, that's like, I do everything. I try and keep my hands in a bunch of different things and network and, just continue to grow. So I'm blessed to, to get a real job, corporate job, have security, but still I'm able to do my events and run my company as well as work with my artists still.
Gotcha. So what's your favorite? Do you prefer
Out of everything I do?
Yeah, the events or marketing?
I love throwing events. That's like, because for me, like I like to party. Like who doesn't like to party?
Right.
So it's like every event is like my birthday party to me. And it's crazy because that's how I started my events. Like I threw an event on my 22nd birthday and it was just so successful and just great vibes that I just continued doing it monthly. So that was like 2012. So I just had my 8-year anniversary in June. But my favorite is probably my new job just because, like I said, like I can work with all genres now. I'm meeting so many people and I'm really like elevating in my career. So that's probably my favorite right now.
So what's it like stepping outside of hip hop? Of course, I know you still work with hip hop, but what's it like?
Learning. I'm learning, but it's crazy because it's like that's all I listen to. So now it's like, okay, I have a gospel artist, I have Afro beats, I have alternative rock. So it's opening my ears more. Like even when I was growing up, I listened to all different kinds of music, but primarily was always rap, hip hop. Like that was my favorite. And I mean, it's just a learning process, but I love it. It's just like you think you have the right relationships until you work in another genre. And you're like, okay, the person I know at Apple Music is, like a hip hop programmer. And now I need to find someone who can support my gospel artist. So just like learning and branching out and meeting new people, that's key over there.
Okay. I definitely got you. So you've been doing events for 8 years plus.
8 years, yeah.
Like I can definitely tell you're passionate about what you do. So
Yes.
that kind of lets me know that one thing that keeps you going and helps you stay afloat is your passion. But what are some other things to you having such longevity? Because I'm in Atlanta too, and you hear about some event planners or promoters, they're hot for a couple of years, then they're gone. But for you to be able to stay on the scene and be successful for 8 years,
Right.
how do you do it?
So what's crazy, like, and I always say this, is I really feel like I started in the industry at like the perfect timing. Like it was like a group of us, like Future wasn't on, 2 Chainz wasn't on, like everybody was on the come up. So we had such a great support system. Like I used to manage Rich the Kid. So like Rich performed at all my shows. Then it's like a JID, and then it's OG Maco, and it's Earthing. Like none of them were on, so they were all performing at my shows. So it led up to more and more artists being like, oh, I gotta touch her stage. So it was kind of like the rite of passage to come out here and perform at a Schweinbeck industry mixer. And of course my brand, like and I have a good personality. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like people like being around me, and just, it's real. Like, I don't do this because I have to. I do it because I love it. You know, like I used to be an accountant. I could go do that whenever, you know, but this is like my passion, and it's something I want to continue doing. But yeah, I mean, I think consistency really helped. And like, even when I started, like, I'll have to say there was probably only one other showcase out there, and it was Hustle and Flow. And they don't even do that anymore, right? But that was like the only one I actually heard about. And then all these showcases started popping up. But I think it was just consistently people seeing Schweinbeck this, Schweinbeck that, and like they wanted to meet me or they wanted to come perform. And I gave a lot of artists opportunity to perform that never performed before. So a lot of artists will be like, oh, my first show was at Schweinbeck's, you know, or it'll be like, who's Schweinbeck? I want to meet Schweinbeck. I want to perform. So I think just the consistency, doing good business, and bringing the right people out at the show. My shows might not always be like jam packed, but there's very important people in there that you can just network with and meet. Even to my DJ, like he's Playboy Cardi's DJ. So it's like, why not go and make a connection and build with him? So I think that's what helped it the most.
Okay, so what's it like working with artists? Because I'm on social media and sometimes I see like there's a battle between, it looks like the big thing now is a battle between the DJ and the artist.
Right.
And you hear some people say that some artists are hard to work with. So what has been your experience working with so many artists?
Artists are very difficult to work with because they all have different egos. It's very hard to find an artist who's just like very chill, on the same page, because at the end of the day, it's their career. So they can be pushy, like they're their CEO of this, you know? Yeah, it's very difficult. But for me, like, because I build with my artists. So like Sy Ari, for example, I've been managing him for like 6-7 years, but we learned each other. We learned how each other work. Like, we don't work the same. We're actually complete opposites, but I think that's what helps us the most in our careers. Like, he might look at something differently than me, but I might come in with a different point of view, and, you know, he gets used to it. But everyone has a different ego, and even me, like I always tell people, I'm not the easiest person to work with either. Like, not everyone can work with the same people, but once you learn how someone works, and if it works for you, then you continue it.
Right. And I, when I first heard about you, I always heard your name attached to events and Sy Ari the Kid. I heard you pronounce it Sy Ari the Kid.
Yeah, a lot of people, sorry.
Yeah.
That's his real name too. It's Sy Ari. So,
oh, is it?
He's not a kid either, but we kept it.
I think I saw him say one time he was going to drop the kid, but tell him to keep the kid.
Yeah, we try. Like when we do like his logo and stuff, it'll just be Sy Ari. But like at the end of the day, if you search his music, you got to put the kid.
So how did that relationship come about?
So with Sy, it's like when I was like first starting out, and I started, I won't say interning because I never was like an official intern, but I would be reaching out. Like Miss River City back then was throwing a lot of these listening parties. So I reached out to her because I was trying to like learn how to throw an event. So she was like, oh, just come out to my events. And she gave me like a clipboard, and she was like, go have people write their emails, which I didn't do. Like I would come get the clipboard, and I'd go around and just network like that. I'm not the type to go, give me your email, you know? So that's probably why she never asked me to be her intern, but he would be at every event. Like I would run into him at every single event, and I'd be like, who is this guy? And so I'd always see his truck. Back then he had Arrogant Music, and he had like a wrapped like Suburban. So I'd be like, this guy is at every single event. And then we became really good friends. So we didn't even start working with each other till like, I want to say like 2 years later. He like came over to my condo in Atlanta, and he's like, I got to talk to you. So, and he had a manager at the time. And he basically was like, you know, I've been watching you grow. I like how you work. And he asked me to be his manager, which is rare because I always tell artists, like, the manager will find you. Like, you're not going to find the manager. But he asked me. But before that, we had built such a strong relationship of being friends that it just made sense. But that's really how it started. And I mean, just from a friendship growing to a business relationship and learning together, like he helps me a lot. Like he's one of the main reasons why I have my job at Sync. So it's like he helps me just as much as I help him. So we call each other business partners, but I'm his manager.
Gotcha. Yeah, you do a phenomenal job with him.
I appreciate it.
What would be your oh, you're welcome, most definitely. What would be your message to up and coming artists? Because I heard you say network a lot.
Right. That's oh my God. like I said, those relationships are everything
Mhm.
for me. Like just how I was able to start out